Finally, let's tap into the very last TED Talk in this course, Inside the Mind of a Master Procrastinator by Tim Urban. Before we watch the talk together, please follow these steps on the screen. Go to Tron class and find the chapter time, download the transcript Procrastinator 1. You still need to fill in the blanks while watching the talk yourself. Then click on Inside the Mind of a Procrastinator to watch the talk. Start filling in the blanks at 2 minutes and 53 seconds. It has a long opening. I want you to skip that almost 3-minute long opening and start filling in the blanks at 2 minutes and 53 seconds and watch the talk till 3 minutes and 39 seconds. When you are done, come back to the video to listen to my explanation. Before we watch this segment, let's learn some words. First, you need to know what procrastinate is. To procrastinate means to keep delaying something that must be done. So a person who does that is called a procrastinator. And then hypothesis is an idea that has not been proven. So when people do research, they need to come up with an idea that has not been proven, and they try to prove whether this hypothesis stands or not in their analysis. And third one, perplex, means extremely confused. Okay, so now please do what I asked you to do in the previous slides and come back to the lecture. Okay, I assume you did what I asked you to do. Now let's take a look at the file. Wait a moment. Okay, so for the first paragraph, okay, the first 3 minutes was about how he procrastinated when he was assigned to write a thesis. So that was just a personal anecdote to illustrate how he procrastinated, okay, as a student before. And now the sections in the file here is what we need to focus on. So I decided to write about procrastination. So he had a blog called Why But Why, and he wanted to write about procrastination, why people delay things. And the purpose is to explain to the non-procrastinator of the world what goes on in the heads of procrastinator. So he wanted to let the non-procrastinator to understand the mindset of procrastinators a lot better. So he has a hypothesis. The hypothesis is that the brains of the procrastinators were actually different from the brains of non-procrastinators. And he had an MRI ready to show us, and he invited us to look at that MRI closely. So what you need to pick up from the introduction is the purpose of this talk is to show that the differences between a procrastinator's brain and the non-procrastinator's brain, so that people can understand a lot better why people procrastinate or why procrastinators procrastinate. So that's what you need to learn from this introduction. Now, let's move on. So these are the main idea you must pick up from the introduction. Background: the speaker is a blogger of Why But Why, And the reasons why he had this talk is to show, okay, the difference between procrastinators and non-procrastinator. Okay, so for the second part, I want you to do the same. Okay, start watching from 3 minutes 40 seconds all the way to 5 minutes 15 seconds. And before you do that, let's take a look at some words. Gratification, it means pleasure or satisfaction. Productive, it means having positive results. In this section, you will learn about different characters invented by the speaker. You need to know what they do and what their names are. So it might be a bit challenging. So please follow the steps in the previous slides and come back for my video lecture. Alright, I suppose you're done. Now let's take a look at the second section closely. So in the second section, he showed you the drawing. Okay, he actually didn't have the MRI for us. He had his own drawing, okay, to present the brain of a non-procrastinator and a procrastinator. And what do they have in common? They both have a rational decision monkey, but the procrastinator brain also has an instant gratification monkey. So you need to know the difference between a rational decision maker and the instant gratification monkey. So what is the rational decision maker responsible for? It is responsible for making rational decision to do something productive. So this is someone who always asks us to do the right thing. But what I underline here, from actually all the way to we are not going to really have room on the schedule for any work today. Sorry. These are the things that the gratification monkey would ask you to do. So the gratification monkey only cares about two things, easy and fun. So to put it more differently, the rational decision maker and the instant gratification monkey are like the good angel and evil angel in our head. They always have a tug of war, a fight. Okay, one asks us to do what we are supposed to do right away, and the other one asks us to relax and do them later. Okay, so from this section, you need to know what the rational decision maker and instant gratification monkey are responsible for. In the brain of a procrastinator, they have both. But in the brain of a non-procrastinator, they only have rational decision maker. Okay? Okay, so these are the main points. We have a comparison between the brain of a procrastinator and that of a non-procrastinator. And the rational decision maker is responsible for doing something productive, and the instant gratification monkey is asking us to do something easy and fun. Okay. So to the last section for today, I want you to start from 5 minutes 15 seconds to 6 minutes 42 seconds. So before you watch it, let's go over some words. These are the two key words from this section. Overlap means two parts, okay, the part of two things cover the same area. And conflict, I believe we have mentioned this before, it means a disagreement. Okay, so please follow those steps and come back to me again later. Okay, I assume you just did that. Now let's take a look at the last section. So the last section, okay, is about the conflict and overlap between two things. So the first thing the speaker points out is, yes, we can live by following the rule of the monkey, always do something fun and easy. But this doesn't work because we are living in an advanced civilization. People want to do something more. People actually follow the order from the rational decision maker, who gives people the ability to do things no other animals can do. So people are encouraged to picture what the future is like, and they are asked to make long-term plans, and they are asked to always consider important things first. So sometimes doing something easy and fun and doing something that makes sense can agree with each other. So when these two things agree, there's an overlap. But sometimes easy and fun things may not necessarily be the things that make sense. So that will be a conflict. So when that conflict happens, the procrastinator tends to go towards the easy and fun things and forget about the other things that make sense. So the speaker calls this orange area the dark playground. So we will learn a bit more about the dark playground in our following lecture. So from this paragraph, you learn more about the tug of war, the fight between the rational decision maker and the instant gratification monkey. Sometimes they agree, then we will have an overlap, but sometimes they will disagree, and the procrastinator tend to go toward the circles about easy and fun things, and the non-procrastinator go toward the circles that make sense. Alright, so that's the sections we need to work on for the talk today. Okay, so now the lecture is done. Okay, now the lecture is done. I would like you to take a look at this screen again to go for the main points. Okay, to go for the main points. So from this sections, we know what rational decision maker asks us to do, and this is what sets us apart from other animals. And sometimes there is an overlap, and sometimes there is a conflict. These are the two questions I would like you to discuss with your group members. Why do people procrastinate? And what are the positive and negative effects of procrastinations? I would like you to give me 2 positive effects and 2 negative effects. Alright, please follow my instructions for the online discussions. And I appreciate the time and effort you put into our online lecture this week. I will see you soon online. Bye.